Hi guys, today I'm going to take you through this accent table flip. I found this table at Goodwill. It was in decent condition. There was a good chip out of the corner. There were some scratches and it did not have any hardware on it. But this is the before. I believe this piece cost $15. As always, very first thing was to clean it. I used White Lightning by Dixie Belle. You just pour 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. I didn't use a gallon of water, so I only sprinkled some in, wiped it all down, and then afterwards I go back with clean water and a clean rag and wipe it all off so that chemicals don't interfere with the paint when I go to paint it. Then we fill the damage in that corner with Dixie Mud. I chose to go with Dixie Belle Vintage Duck Egg because it was a very pretty color. I took a big risk this time and I did not prime because the piece I didn't think was real wood, and chalk paint doesn't necessarily need primer in order to stick. So I've tried to cut some corners and it did not work out. So I painted it all, and after I'd finished painting it, when it dried, I had noticed that there was some staining. The paint was turning orange. So in order to fix that, I ended up having to do like 3 or 4 coats, which I wouldn't have had to do if I primed. Then for the top of the piece, I used Hurricane Gray by Dixie Belle, and then after it dried, I went over it with Grunge Gray Glaze, and that's what I'm doing here. I just paint it on and then wipe it back with the cloth, and it gives it kind of a smoky look. I forgot to take a picture of the Grunge Gray, but it's just a glaze that goes on top of the paint. So this table had a little extra pull-out section, and it had a weird screw in it. There was no hardware, and so I found this little handle at Lowe's, and we decided to put it on there to be able to pull this piece out. It's not the type where you can just screw in some hardware. It was really unique, but we ended up figuring out. So this is just us measuring, drilling the holes, and putting that little hook on there so that we can pull this piece in and out. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you've probably seen feet walking around in the background. That's my mother. She's always hanging out and checking to see what we're doing, and she's even started to really help out a lot. I believe this is the final coat. What actually ended up happening is I had clear coated it as well. Like I did 2 coats, I clear coated it, I thought it was good to go, and then the next day is when I saw the stains. So I had to go back and sand off the clear coat, paint again. So it was a real process, but this is one of the pieces where I learned my lesson to just don't skip steps, prime it anyways for stain blocking. And I just wanted to mention that I always use a 220 grit to do a light sanding between each coat of everything to have as smooth a finish as possible. One of the last steps, I went in with Dixie Belle Satin Clear Coat and painted the entire piece down. I am still working on getting better at clear coating, but with Vintage Duck Egg, because it was a light color, it was more difficult to see any flaws, so it worked out. And there you have it, completed accent table. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, like, share, comment. I love feedback. If you haven't had the chance yet, please go over to Instagram and follow Chalk It Up to Ashley for daily updates. Thank you.